7 days of Kwanzaa. 7 days of Kwanzaa. 7 days of Kwanzaa. Umoja, Kujichagia, Kujima, Kujama, Nia, Kuumba, Imani, Nguzo Saba. 7 days of Kwanzaa.
Peace, family.
Habari Gani.
Kujichagia. Peace, family. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome to 7 days of Kwanzaa with the Ture family. I hope everybody had a great first day of Kwanzaa yesterday. It was rough for us. So we didn't get on, but we saw all the wonderful events that were going on and appreciate the videos and the pictures that you all have been posting. So thank you so much. And again, thank you for tuning in with us tonight. I hope you all are having a great second day of Kwanzaa as well.
Yes. We've kind of been under the weather a little bit. So I'm just not getting back to some energy. So I'm glad to be here. Thank you for being patient with us. So today we're just going to talk a little bit about Kwanzaa, show you how we celebrate, just to share our family's celebration with you, and just to give you a quick informational. A lot of people want to celebrate Kwanzaa, but they don't know how. So we want to make it easy for you, give you an informational, so we can all celebrate together. This is a community event. This involves everybody in the community. Everybody plays a role during Kwanzaa. So we just want to show you how you can play a role and how you can participate in this celebration. Commemoration here for it.
Right.
So we here. I'm trying to share real quick on Facebook.
So while he's doing that, so yesterday again was the first day of Kwanzaa, and it was the principle of unity, which was umoja. And again, for Kwanzaa, there are 7 principles. That's what the 7 days represent. And again, I just think that we should live by those 365, just not during, the month of December. So again, yesterday was unity, umoja, and today is self-determination, Kujichagia. One of my favorites, actually, self-determination, because, we have to have that ambition and that drive and that inner fire to, get the job done, get our goals set and met.
It's definitely my favorite to say. So Kujichagia.
It is.
All right, so we're just gonna hop right into it. But like Z said, these principles that we have, they're for us to use for our liberation. They're for us to use to advance our community to a better place, right? They're not just to commemorate once a year. These are principles and values that we should embody, and these principles and values were created and put into this celebration for us to use toward our liberation. We talk a lot about at the IBFA, the International Black Freedom Alliance, is that we are a colonized people, even if it's our minds. So things like Kwanzaa help us get back to our cultural roots, helps us get back to helps us use Sankofa to get back to the things that, the traditions, the rituals, the ceremonies that have empowered us in the past. So it's time to get back to that. Right. And with Kwanzaa, that's exactly what we're doing. We're getting back to that. So I'll put together a few little, and again, y'all make sure y'all tap in and comment, like, share, and go to the YouTube page, subscribe, like, all that. We want to continue to bring y'all informational things, even outside of Kwanzaa. So we're just going to start this little presentation I have here. Hopefully I don't bore everybody with it.
Thank you for putting it together, by the way.
You're welcome. I think it's important. So here we go. Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is a Pan-African celebration. Again, Kwanzaa, literally, we're pulling from different festivals, and we've created our own. Established in 1966 by professor activist Dr. Mulana Karinga, Kwanzaa aims to reconnect Black Americans to their African roots, recognize their struggle as people by building community, and it is observed each year between December 26th and January 1st. Derived from the Swahili term Matunda ya Kwanzaa, which means first fruits. Kwanzaa is based on the African harvest celebrations, right?
I'm sorry. All right. Okay, there we go. It was kind of tiny. All right. Kawaida,
Hmm.
a Swahili word meaning tradition or reason, pronounced kawaida. Oh, so I did say it right. Okay. According to the official Kwanzaa website, Kwanzaa was created out of the philosophy of kawaida, which is a cultural nationalist philosophy that argues that the key challenge in Black people's lives is the challenge of culture. And that what Africans must do is to discover and bring forth the best of their culture, both ancient and current, and use it as a foundation to bring into being models of human excellence and possibilities to enrich and expand our lives.
Shit.
Yes.
So I want to take the time to pause right there real quick and to say that we know that during the 60s was a great time as far as nationalism,
Mm-hmm.
right? With our people, you had the Black Panthers, you had people getting back to their roots. You had the dashikis,
People traveling to the
Steve,
motherland,
you know,
Yeah.
people getting back to their Africanness.
Mm-hmm.
So naturally, we needed some holidays, some celebrations for ourselves here in America. If you see around in the world, in different cultures, different Africans throughout the diaspora, Brazil, Cuba, so on and so forth, they have celebrations that was created amongst the Africans in Cuba, the Africans in Brazil. So there was a need for us to create a time here, a celebration here for us Africans here in
Mm-hmm.
America. All
Right.
right. With that, Karinga had an idea, right? He had an idea for this celebration, and he went to put it out, put it together with his organization. And it wasn't just Karinga; it was the whole organization that
The
he
US
was with
organization.
that put this out. And we're gonna hop into this next part right here. Queen Mother of Kwanzaa,
Yes.
Sister Makenya Sabeko Kaiuti. Uh, she was born July 1st, 1926, and transitioned in 2007. This queen here was the foot soldier that put in the work surrounding Kwanzaa.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to show a few pictures of her. Then we'll talk a little bit about what she did. All right. So this was the true foot soldier. So in December of 1966, Karinga handed her two mimeograph sheets with the principles and a few instructions about a new Black holiday. And I believe this was in Oakland at like
Mm-hmm.
a Black Power convention. And she talked about the need for a holiday. And she was, when she spoke, strong sister, and Karinga recognized that this was the person that should and had the ability to advance the holiday, this celebration, and he was right because she put the work in. She drafted a more elaborate and specific guideline for the
Mm-hmm.
holiday. She traveled throughout the U.S. and multiple African countries, observing different harvest festivals, spreading Kwanzaa throughout the diaspora.
Mm-hmm.
Later, Sister McKenya would travel to Africa to learn more about harvest festivals. However, without her work, the plan might have remained just that, a great idea. She hosted one of the first Kwanzaa celebrations in her home.
Right.
She hosted the first community Kwanzaa in her home in 1967. So a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
pictures that we see of the first Kwanzaa being celebrated in 1966, that was a private
Mm-hmm.
type of event that Karinga and company had. She was the first one to bring it to the community, and she continued that tradition all the way up until she passed.
Right.
Right. She facilitated Kwanzaa boards throughout California specifically,
Mm-hmm.
and throughout the Bay Area. We can really say, if any of us know like some of the history of Kwanzaa, we can really say like the Bay Area is really where Kwanzaa
You're
took off
right.
first,
Right.
there in California, and that's because of this queen who put the
Mm-hmm.
work in to keep it, to develop it, and to
Right.
spread it. She did all of those.
She wasn't. I mean, she didn't just tell you about it. She would actually even stay with you for 7 days to let you know how to
Yeah,
commemorate this. This special day for us. So again, I shade to Queen Mother McKenya.
I say. So we're gonna hop right into the activities of Kwanzaa. So what? So
Yay.
so again, the Kwanzaa, we have these principles that we are to live by, that we are to commemorate in this time, and we have these principles to advance us as a people, as a community, as a culture, as a nation. Uh, so here are some of the activities of Kwanzaa. So the fundamental activities. Kwanzaa, like other African first fruit celebrations, is organized around five fundamental activities. And these activities are informed by ancient views and values which reaffirm and reinforce family, community, and culture. And these five activities are ingathering of people, special reverence for the creator and creation, commemoration, recommitment to our highest ideals, and celebration of the good. Say so, ingathering of the people.
Yes. A time
Qua-
of ingathering of the people to reaffirm the bonds between them or us.
I say. And these are a few
I haven't
pictures
even
from.
seen that. That was our first Kwanzaa. Okay.
Yeah, that was. I
Sorry,
think that was
y'all.
like our first
It
Kwanzaa,
was.
and that was last year's Kwanzaa on the other side. Our dancers, so on and so. Special reverence for the Creator and creation. It's a time of special reverence for the Creator and creation, and thanks and respect for the blessings, bountifulness, and the beauty of creation. And on these pictures, we have some elders and the children.
Right.
It's
The
definitely symbols of
Watoto.
creation, the Watoto, and that's who we got there. That's
The Burks.
yeah, Mama Burke and Baba Burke.
Our scientists.
Yes, commemoration of the past.
A time for commemoration of the past in pursuit of his lessons and in honor of his models of human excellence, our ancestors.
Shay, and there we have
Baba Burke pouring libations for us.
that was a Kwanzaa a couple years ago.
Right.
All right. Recommitment to our highest ideals. A time of recommitment to our highest cultural ideas in our ongoing effort to always bring forth the best of African culture throughout and practice, best of African culture,
Thought and practice.
thought and practice.
Yes.
So again, it's just a recommitment to our the highest ideals. It's a recommitment to us getting free. It's a recommitment to us being a community, acting like a community,
Yeah.
and advancing ourselves.
And being our
advancing
best
our
self,
community.
living our highest quality of life.
Right. And then here, last but not least,
celebration of the good, which is always a great thing when we can do that. So, a time for celebration of the good of life and of existence itself. The good of family, community, and culture. The good of the awesome and the ordinary. In a word, the good of the divine, natural, and social. So let's just praise me and all the good stuff. We always, not always, but we put too much energy towards negative things sometimes. So we need to put more energy towards, positivity. The best way I could describe it is, people are quick to complain to a manager or something if you do something wrong, but they won't run to them if you did something good for them. So let's change that around.
I say. So again, the five things that we talked about, the five fundamental activities and gathering of the people, a special reverence for creation and the creator, commemoration of the past, recommitment to our highest ideals, and a celebration of the good. Right. Those are the five fundamental activities. And as you'll see throughout this information, or the things that we do all have meaning. So nothing was put within a celebration that doesn't have significant meaning. None of the symbols, all the way from the decorations of the lighting the candles, so on and so forth, it all has significant meanings. Right. So we're just gonna hop into this next part, the essential values of Kwanzaa. We're going to talk about Nguzo Saba. Yes. Nguzo Saba translates to 7 principles. And I'm pretty sure by now you've heard You laughing at me snibbling over here.
I'm sorry.
I told you I was a little bit under the weather, y'all. So so the Nguza Saba, the seven principles.
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure by now most of us have heard something about these seven principles or heard something about it. So we're just gonna hop into it and
Yes.
let's see.
All right. The purpose of the principles. So, the Nguza Saba were developed and offered as the Afrocentric value system, which would serve the following functions: organize and enrich our relations with each other on the personal and community level, always important.
Shit.
Establish standards, commitments, and priorities that would tend to enhance our human possibilities as persons, as a people. Aid in the recovery and reconstruction of lost historical memory and cultural legacy in the development of an Afrocentric paradigm of life and achievement. So again, we have to reclaim our culture in every way possible, and not only reclaim it, we have to protect it. Serve as a contribution to a core system or communitarian ethical values for value guidance and instruction of the community, especially for children and elders. Yes, we have to. Us too. We're in the middle of the children and the elders, so it is definitely our job. Like I said, it's the core system to keep this going. Lastly, contribute to an ongoing and expanding set of Afrocentric communitarian values, which would aid in bringing into being a new man, woman, and child who self consciously participate in the ethical project of starting a new history of people and humankind with these observations in mind. So, the purpose of the principles, that last one is we need to purposely and intentionally know why we are doing what we're doing, why are we telling our children, well, why they're watching us. They need to know unity, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, creativity, purpose, faith. All of those things they need to see us doing these things, not just talking about it. They need to see us doing this on a regular basis, so it won't even be a thinking thing when they're living their lives or when they become parents and elders. It's something that is innate in you and that we've been practicing, and you've seen us practice it and it's stuck with us. It's just it's like I said, it's in our DNA. We just have to reclaim it.
So the first principle,
Which was yesterday.
of Kwanzaa,
Yes.
is umoja.
Now you're talking in your radio DJ voice. Anyways, okay, so
Umoja. So unity to strive and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race.
right.
And the symbol for it is a dajinat, and it's a Pan-African symbol of unity found in several African cultures, ergo Yoruba, Asau, and the Bashango, etc.
Yes.
So this is the first symbol, the first principle of Kwanzaa is unity. I was gonna ask the children to come over here and talk a little bit about it, but they're kind of sleeping. Y'all want to come? Anybody want to come talk about unity? So since yesterday, I want to talk a little bit about it. So yesterday we weren't able to get on just because we weren't feeling too good. But unity is the foundation of Kwanzaa. It's the foundation of why we commemorate and celebrate and just have this time, unity, right? One thing about unity is unity. We talk about unity as an action, right? Versus a description. It's an action to, in order to be unified with somebody, is to show it, right? So within our community, we have to show that we are unified, right? There has to be a show. We have to prove to each other that we are unified. We have to build that trust within unity. So this is one of the most important values. To me, it is the most important value, especially for us here in America and many other Africans in the diaspora. If we just come together, if we come together in unity and we all strive and have the same goal, we'll win. Right? All of us have the same goal, and we using our means to get to that end goal, we'll win. Unity is definitely the most important.
And that means, having it good together and also struggling together. I think that's the part that most of us are afraid of, is the struggle together. But if there's a lot of us, we can make some stuff happen, which we always do. for generations and generations. But we have to, and having our own things like any other country or anybody else that has their sovereignty, so to speak. There's a struggle there. We can't be afraid of that. But with unity, we know that, hey, if we don't eat, at least the children will. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep those principles. This principle, like Babani said, is one of the most, not the most important principle that there is, because we cannot do this alone. We know that. We know what that looks like.
I say. So let's talk a little bit about what type of unity uh, we need to advance ourselves. What type of unity we're talking about when we say unity, when we say umoja. So the first unity is family unity. Uh, a lot of times we are able to unify with people in our organizations, people within our church, so on and so forth, but we fail to unify with our brothers and sisters within our own family, right? We fail to do that. We fail to, we hold grudges sometime and we won't talk to family members. We won't even try to heal what's going on within a family, you know.
Yeah.
So here it says the family must reject harshness and practice gentleness, stress cooperation and avoid conflict, and be very attentive to the things that would divide or create differences negative to togetherness. Especially important is unity of the father and mother, for they are the models of the children and the foundation for the family in every sense of the word. So again, we have to, in order for us to uh, for unity to become normalized, father and mother ought shows, unity. The leaders of the families ought show unity. The grandmas and the grandpas. If we can't show unity, if we can't practice unity and the children see it, why would they in the future want or know how to practice unity?
Right. They definitely won't know what it looks like.
Right. So just so again, within our family, we have to practice unity. That's where it starts at within our households. The second unity I want to talk about is generational unity. You want to step into that generational unity, meaning our unity with
our elders,
the elders,
and our children, and like we just talked about, that 3-tier system is I'm gonna call it a 4-tier system, because we're gonna say the elders, the middle ones, the middle class people, and then you have the children, and then you also have the unborn, because the children who are unborn still feel the vibrations, they still hear the conversations that we have when they're inside of the womb. So there's we have to have that intergenerational connection with each other, because the child does not know everything that they need to know to get through life. The elder, even though they have been through a lot, they still don't know everything, which is very interesting as well. They learn from children. And then us, we're always learning from both ends. So this is a great time for us in the middle, for real, to get as much wisdom as we can. And then, like I said, for the unborn, for the pregnant mommies out there, we have to be careful of the vibes and all of that stuff, and what we're putting in our bodies, and what people are speaking to us as we have, our children are inside of our womb. So those types of bonds are important. The mom always, my mom did. Every time I was pregnant, she came down, even though me and her didn't have the best relationship, but that was an intergenerational gap that we could feel there. At least she could be the best grandmother that she could be. You know what I'm saying? So you always have to have that. Big mama, big daddy, the crazy auntie that come. We need all of those people. Everybody got a job. Everybody has a purpose.
I say so. Part 2 of unity. Part 1 was family unity. Part 2 is generational unity. Bridging the gap between the generations, right?
Right.
The third aspect of of unity is community. Community unity.
Right. Community unity. Say that 3 times.
Community unity. Community unity. Community unity.
He's getting better.
So,
okay.
So definitely community unity. And first of all, we have to know what a community is and how a community should act and the things that a community should practice. And that's what Kwanzaa is all about. We're creating values and principles to be able to hold our community intact, right? To be able to create trust, love, and within our community,
We'll be able to
because
live
they're
without locks on our
right,
doors, you know?
because there is no community if you can't trust.
Right.
Right.
And the people who live there have to establish that, because a lot of us just live somewhere. You know, our neighbor is not our friend. We probably don't like them half of the time. We don't want nobody telling our children anything. If they were, you know, a neighbor were to have to tell them something and come, you know, so we have to get back to, like I said, that's what today is. Kujichagia, self-determination, to name ourselves like police-free communities, because we don't have these conflicts, or we even need them to come into our, you know, into our place of inhabitants. So yes, definitely community unity. I definitely well, I'm happy to be in Birmingham right now at this time, but I feel that, you know, we definitely support each other in all of our endeavors, and let's keep that going for sure. And let's be a model to, you know, those who are looking at us, that it's possible. It definitely is. And we're just gonna take it to the next level in 2022. Yeah. But yes.
And it's one thing that we have to do is put our superficial differences to the side. Right? If we all have the same goal, what Marcus Garvey talked about, the same aim, the same goal. Right. If we got one mission, you shouldn't care what that person's political affiliations are. You shouldn't care what that person's religious affiliations are. If we all got the same goal and we're trying to accomplish that. Now, if your organization or your religion or your ideas interfere with community unity, then it's a problem. So if your religion is saying that you can't link up with other like-minded people who look like you, that's a problem. Right. You know. But yeah, so again, community unity, being able to put our differences to the side, coming together for a common goal, common aim. The next aspect of unity is Pan-African unity. Yes. So again, unity with our folks, unity with our people throughout the diaspora, right? We are not special here in America. We are not special. We are not special. We are not special. So to be able to show unity and act, right? Because unity is an action. To be able to show unity with our brothers and sisters throughout the diaspora, you know, making their problems ours, you know, making their issues ours, you know, making their struggle ours, and sharing that struggle, so on and so forth. That's how we win, right? Right. We are, you know, Garvey gave us the Pan-African concept of that we ain't no minority by far. We are just a scattered nation. You know, we are a scattered people. Yes, right. But once we get rid of that concept of Jamaicans, you know, Dominicans, Haitians, so on and so forth, and we say, man, we whatever we choose to call ourselves, we Africans, you know, we the children of the dark continent, whatever we call ourselves, we are organized within that unity. And again, it's Pan-African unity. Our problems, you know, we are one. We are a mighty race, and we are organized in that fashion, and race first. And a lot of our issues that we have throughout the diaspora, we can easily get rid of just through some Pan-African unity. I say.
Right.
So that was unity. That was our unity spiel.
Yesterday's principle.
Yesterday's principle. Again, we apologize. We weren't able to hop on, but we here.
So we're at today's principle.
So we got today's principle. Again, definitely my favorite to say. Kujichagia. Yes. Kujichagia.
Self-determination, to define ourselves, name ourselves, create and speak for ourselves instead of being defined, named, created for, and spoken for by others, like we've been for too long. So yes.
And this, the symbol that accompanies this is the throne. It's
the Hinwa.
The Hinwa, the Alan throne, symbol of national identity, culture, integrity, and rightful governance.
Right. Again, governance, our sovereignty, us taking control of our everything. Our education, our spirituality, our working system, if we decide to do so, everything, our healthcare, we need to take over all that.
We are not European.
No.
Even though we lived in this colonized society of Europeans, even though they have forced their dominance upon us, we are not European. A lot of us have lost, right, who we are. even has a nation over here. We've lost who we are. We are confused. Uh, a lot of us don't know what greatness, what revolutionary history we've come from. We've just accepted that we are uh, American, and we've accepted the values and principles that America have set upon us,
or lack thereof.
or lack thereof. So when here we're talking about self determination. Here we're talking about how do we, as Africans of the diaspora, want to live, right? How do we want to celebrate? How do we want to teach our children? How do we want to communicate and govern our own, it's govern our own society, so on and so forth. We are not European, so any models that we create would be different from this society. So if we say we're going to govern ourselves, I guarantee that it wouldn't be the same as this American government. If we say we wanted to create our own schools and educate our own children, I guarantee our school systems wouldn't look like the public school systems or the public food system. Right.
Or our housing.
None of that.
Even the way the homes are set up, ours would look totally different. Because we got way more kids and cousins and all of that stuff, so everybody could fit, So, yeah, again, we have to stick to our principles, which is what Kwanzaa is all about. But definitely, pieces. But we definitely have to take control. Like I said, not only do we have to define ourselves and have our own governance, but we have to protect that as well. We have to not let people lure us the other way, like we've already been. Like we got to come back home and reclaim our throne.
Right. And if you know us, which if you on this line, most likely you do, you know that we live and try to practice our life as being African centered, right? Which means that, we embody the principles that our ancestors left for us. That means we listen to our ancestors, and we listen to those who left the pathway to freedom for us, right? We teach and we live in a way that is conducive to our spirit versus just conducive to our image or our name, so on and so forth. So a part of self-determination is being able to go back and be African-centered, teach our children in an African-centered way. Just our dreads and the way we dress in the last couple of years shows that we want self-determination, that we're pushing and rebelling against the systems that be, so let's intentionally do so. So again, self-determination, just and having the power to be self-determined. It's a process to get self-determination. It's not just I'm just I want to be self-determined and I can walk out the house and do what I want. No, it's a process of fighting to be able to practice self-determination, to be able to practice nationhood like we want to, so on and so forth.
And a lot of that has to do with with unity and just all of us making each other feel worthy. That's where self-worth comes from other people letting you know that your job is important here. That what you do, if we didn't have you here doing this job in the tribe, in the village, that it wouldn't function. So that's where a lot of our self-determination comes from too. You want your big mama to tell you, man, I'm proud of you, baby. You want your teacher or your mom or somebody to tell you these things, and that fuels you. So we definitely have to do that for each other as well. Again, we cannot do any of these 7 principles alone. We can't, maybe for a little while, but we only gonna get so far if we do it individual. So this one is
So we're gonna go through.
Oh no, we're gonna stop here as far as the principles because we have, a few more days to go. Well, not a few more days. We got a lot more days to go. I'm excited. Kwanzaa is exciting. So we're going to stop here as far as the principle is concerned and pick up on the 3rd one tomorrow. But we are going to go through our setup here and the meaning. The meaning of it. We're going to let the children step in as well. So let me move my little situation out of the way. I don't want to burn the house down, y'all, with the candle. All right. All right. All right. You kind of tall there, huh? You may have to get down on your bend down on your knee. Jalen. Okay.
All right. This is our setup. So you guys want to talk about?
Jalen, I don't know if you would. Sunshine.
So let's talk about. So we have the symbols of Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa has 7 symbols and 2 supplemental ones. Each represents values and the concept reflective of African culture and contributive to the community building and reinforcement. So the first thing we have. Oh, excuse us. Let me get back on here.
Yes.
Before we start this aspect,
So funny.
we're gonna ask Buddy Zion to pour libation for us.
Jalen, come on.
So this is our plant, and you want to open up.
That plant was gifted to us. It's so cute.
You want to open up the libations? How do you?
Yes. So what is libations for?
Libation is for us to call out all the ancestors that came and went.
And what else?
That fought for Black people's freedom.
Okay, I got you. I can't be still. All right.
So
I'm gonna start off with Malcolm X.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Malcolm X.
Ashe.
Sojourner Truth.
Ashe.
Ali Pugh.
Ashe.
Morris Williams.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Martin Luther King.
Mama Ra.
Ashe. Ashe. George Jackson.
Ashe.
Jonathan Jackson.
Ashe. Dirty Bookman. Ashe.
Anybody got one more? I'm gonna. Okay. Look. So for all the, go ahead, Zakim. One more. Come on.
For all the other ancestors that we didn't call out, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.
Thank you, Zion. That was very nice libation.
All right. So the first, we'll put this to the side. So our first thing we have is the Mazal. I can't come over here in the front. And Mazal are the crops which represent the African harvest and acknowledgement of productive labor. So the Mazal, you want to show the Mazal on our table, buddy?
Our Mazal is our fruit for that is laid on the MK.
Ashe.
Right, and the fruits represent the harvest, and it represents all of the people whose hands and labor help us to get a good harvest as well.
Ashe. So the Mkeka is the Kwanzaa mat, which represents the foundation of our tradition and history.
Right. Can you point to the Mkeka,
Zakim, can you show us our Mkeka? Yes.
Right.
You want to tell us about it? It's the interwoven mat. It represents our roots and the foundation of Kwanzaa. So our roots together. It represents our roots together. Our next part, anybody, Jalen?
The Kanara is the Mushuma Saba is the group of 7 candles which represent the Kwanzaa 7 principles.
Ashe, Ashe. So the Mushuma Saba are the what?
The 7 principles.
Are the candles. The 7 candles that represent the 7 principles. Buddy.
The Kanara is the candle holder to hold the candles of the 7 days of Kwanzaa.
Ashe. Can you show them our Kanara?
Right.
Point to our Kanara.
Nice.
Our Pan-African Kanara.
You're so good.
Ashe. Let's see. I think we got some comments here. Okay.
And the Kanara represents the origins from which all of us Africans across the diaspora came from. All the ones that are here now and the ones that will come after.
Ashe. So I said hi, everybody.
Oh, hi.
Okay.
Okay. So the next part is the
Muhindi.
Mohindi. And what is the Mohindi?
The Muhindi is the corn.
All right. And what does the corn represent?
The corn represents the children.
Ashe. And why do we have 4 Mohindi on our table?
Because we put one more coin down on the table for the village child.
But like, why do we have 4 though?
Right.
We have 4.
Because that's how many kids are in this house.
How many children are in this house?
3.
Right.
So we have 3 children in the house and 1 for the community child, right?
Right. Very important.
All right. And the next part is the.
Kikombe cha umoja.
That's a fun thing to say. The Kikombe cha umoja. Can you show us what is the Kikombe cha umoja?
The unity cup.
Okay, it's the unity cup, and can you show everybody our Kikombe cha umoja? Ashe.
You hold up to the camera. I think. Can they see it? All right.
Ashe. Smithy. All right, and next we have
The zawadi.
the Zawadi. What are the Zawadi?
The gifts.
Shay, what kind of gifts are we supposed to give
Right.
during Kwanzaa?
Handmade presents.
Handmade presents. What else?
Or books.
Books, educational things, right?
Educational things.
PlayStations?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
Cell phones?
No.
Okay.
unless y'all gonna use it for education, right?
No.
Oh man, I was trying to get. So, do you want to show our Zawadis? We have the
There's one right here.
TT
TT
sent us.
sent it.
Show
Show the
box.
beautiful box.
Show the
Thank
box.
you,
Show the box.
TT Wana.
All right, and we have our books.
Yes.
And speaking of our books,
We have a very special
Oh, this
feature.
is it.
Yes,
This
one of our elders, Sister Yvette, Mama Yvette Chapman, and her book 7 Beaded Bangles, which is a wonderful, wonderful book to read if whether you're a child or an adult. It is great. And like I said, it's somebody we know, somebody who has taught our children, has taught us. And like I said, the book, it breaks down Kwanzaa as well if you have never celebrated Kwanzaa before. So that is a very good book just to have on the children's shelf and the adult shelf.
Ashe.
And thank you, Mama Yvette, for contributing so much to our children's literacy.
Ashe. All right, so we have a few more in these. This is the
Bandera.
Bandera.
Ya Taifa.
Ya Taifa.
And what is the Bandera Ya Taifa?
The liberation flag.
It's not the liberation flag. All right, it is the flag, which is a supplemental symbol that represents the people, the black color, the struggle, and the future and the hope, which is the green color. So it's a different flag. This is the liberation flag, right? So we got the red, black, and green. So this is our supplemental flag because we don't have a Bandera Ya Taifa, so this is what we're using. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, and here we have the Nguzu Saba poster, right? This is one thing that we should have within our decoration. It shows us all the principles of how to say them, and it's just a reminder for us each day. All right, and the activities of Kwanzaa, we'll save some for next week. So the activities, we'll go over some more of the activities tomorrow. You guys want to get on camera and sing the song?
Yes.
Y'all do? Wow. Give it to us. What y'all got?
Immunity.
1, 2.
Black is so beautiful. The doobity-doo. Black is so beautiful. The doobity-doo. Black is so beautiful. And it's so beautiful, beautiful to be black. The doobity-doo. I am so beautiful. The doobity-doo. I am so beautiful. The doobity-doo. I am so beautiful, And it's so beautiful, beautiful to be me. You are so beautiful. You are so beautiful. You are so beautiful. And it's so beautiful, beautiful to be you.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you.
So Jalen, you want to light the candle?
Second candle for tonight. Yes. So we have our candle lit in the middle for yesterday, Moja. Oh, there you go. Yes. Yay. Thank you. All right. So y'all want to tell everybody thank you for tuning in, or Asante Sana.
Thank you for tuning in, Asante Sana.
To the second day of Kwanzaa with the Teray family. We'll be back tomorrow. Peace, love, and light. Habari Gani.
Habari Gani.
Hey.